Hello, everybody. My name is Todd Bivona from Gotham Trinity Productions, a media production company that kind of focuses on producing video packages for the small business community on Staten Island and beyond, including Tekie Geek, a good friend of ours, but he's also a client of ours. So we're actually here to conduct some testimonials, and here today, our first one is with Neil Stahl, and Neil Stahl is the CEO, president of Pioneer Transportation Group. Neil, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Great, man. Hey, real quick, a little bit about Pioneer Transportation Group.
Sure. Pioneer Transportation has been in business for since roughly about 1972. We primarily transport students in Staten Island, the Bronx, and parts of Manhattan. We run roughly around 800 school buses and transport about 35 to 40,000 children a day when school is in session.
That's right. When school is actually in session,
Exactly.
unlike what's been going on the past few months during this pandemic, of course, and we'll see what the future holds for in-school participation from the students. All right, let's launch into. We're here for our good friend, President Geek, Mike Bloomfield, and our Tekie Geek. Quick, why did you select Tekie Geek?
For years, I was actually the IT person, and I was the one who, when somebody needed an email address set up, they'd come to me. And when somebody had a problem with their computer, they came to me. And I realized that it's probably not the best use of my time, considering we have a business with over 1,000 employees. So over the years, we had used different providers. We used one for our email. We used one for our server, and we thought it was a good idea to put all of this together. And we searched around, and we looked at a number of different providers. And one of the main attractions, in addition to the presentation and the professionalism, was also the location and knowing that somebody is close by if there's a problem. And with the way things are now, everybody is very tied to their computers and tied to technology, and it just gets more and more important every day to have a solution and somebody who stands behind that solution.
That's right. And location, right? In this instance,
Absolutely.
a lot of people say that for a living, but sometimes when you need support for a business, it's good to have someone close by, and Tekie Geek is that. Your experience with Tekie Geek, go through it a little bit. From, you said they had such professionalism in their presentation, but then once it became the consultation phase, execution phase, and following up, talk about that experience.
Well, what our needs are a little bit different than a lot of other businesses. Our needs are everything from email, which obviously everybody else has, but we had maintenance requirements, having to be able to, there's certain software that we need to use in order to keep track of buses, keep track of employees. So we had explained all of this to Tekie Geek, and what was great was they provided us with a number of different proposals. It was different levels. I don't really recall. I think it was gold, silver, bronze, but it was they were really great as far as working with us. And they said, well, if you don't need one of these options, you could put this option in. And this is we've been with them. I got to say over a year now. And we've added on to the solution. And every time there's been an issue, which there really aren't too many issues, the people at Tekie Geek, tech support are unbelievable, and it just has worked out great for us.
That's great. Yeah. All-encompassing services that they provide. Again, professional, of course. Got to agree with you there. So you kind of touched on a little bit. You seem to be the IT guy prior. But prior to having Tekie Geek, what were your biggest IT headaches? And did Tekie Geek help to cure them? What was your main issues, and did they attack them?
Yeah. So one of the things we did was we had a server that was on premises, and we were just kind of band-aiding things, and we used Dropbox and a lot of things that anybody could find off the street. And then we had one provider out of state that was handling our Office 365 and our email, and we had another provider that was handling our maintenance software in upstate New York, and then we had another provider that was handling our accounting software because we use QuickBooks. And it was just insane that, first of all, when you had a problem, you would have to say, okay, well, which provider is this? And then you'd have to find that provider. And not all of the providers had the best response time or best tech support. And the good thing is through Tekie Geek, we were able to bring all the providers together. And now we're with one provider that has great tech support. And we know that if somebody has a question or an issue, it's one phone call. It's, I have an issue with my QuickBooks software. I can't get in. Okay, no problem.
Right.
And you call these guys and they're on top of it.
With that being said, and everything that you've mentioned to the positive, would you recommend Tekie Geek, and why would you recommend them to somebody?
I would recommend them 1,000,000%. I think that, as all of us have realized through current events now, and I don't know when somebody's viewing this, if they're viewing this, in June of 2020, or if they're viewing it, somewhere down the road. But I think we've all realized that technology is extremely important, and a lot of these things we had rolled out, a while ago, and I'm really glad that we use Tekie Geek, because now we've become so dependent on everything from Zoom to our virtual servers. And one other thing I didn't touch upon is we didn't realize the type of security that was required, and we were beyond vulnerable. And one of the things that Tekie Geek did was Tekie Geek secured our servers, our emails, and it's so easy to use now. But we know we're protected with dual authentication and authenticating from your phone, and you don't realize the issues that you're having until you have a bad issue. And I'm glad we were able to realize that before we had that bad issue.
Right. So I think it's safe to say, Neil, are you able to sleep easily at night knowing that Tekie Geek has your back and is protecting your infrastructure from disaster?
Absolutely. And, that's one thing. But most importantly, I know if there's an issue, and I know that, God forbid, there's, our server goes down, or, there's a catastrophe, that they could get us up and running at a remote location instantaneously. We had one issue with with one of our accounting files, and we had to roll it back 2 days, and it literally took them 10 minutes to do it.
Oh wow! So truly proving that they're like Batman. You see that signal in the sky, everything's going to be all right. You see that Tekie Geek logo, at the bottom of your screen, or you see them in your cell phone. You see them at their logo in the sky.
Look up in the sky, and I see
Neil Stahl joining us.
I see Mike's face.
I can see President Geek's face.
Exactly.
He's got it. We're good. Neil, thanks so much for the time. President CEO of Pioneer Transportation. Thanks so much.
My pleasure.
All right. Very cool feedback there. Great testimonial from Neil. Thanks so much for taking in this testimonial. Appreciate the time. Once again, Todd Bivona from Gotham Trinity Productions. Not just a friend of President Geek, Mike Bloomfield, and Tekie Geek, we're also a client.